Hello, welcome. So yes, here in Yorkshire, we've got blue skies as well. After a very gloomy and wet couple of days, it's rather nice to see the sunshine. Lovely to see you all. And for people who are watching later, lovely to see you as well. Let's get started. We don't need to have any further ado. I'm going to do my mix of seated, standing. So get ready. I'm going to start seated, but I'll move my seat back. And we'll go through some of those movements from Shibashi set 2. Let's start off with our first movement. So here we go. We're going to pick up the hands. They're going to go overhead. Again, that could mean different things for different people. And the hands come down slowly. We can have a lean forward if we're sat down. If you're standing up, you can have a little bit of a lean forward. And if you have the capability to flex and bend knees, then flex and bend those knees. So again, we want everyone to be able to feel confident that they can work in a way that suits them. You've got the option for a big breath in, followed by breath out as well. And again, if we slow things down, that gives our brain the opportunity to begin to kind of just take on board what's going on. We literally give ourselves some headspace just by moving slowly. We're going to do one more of these and then we'll just smoothly segue into our next movement, which is called concentrating the mind. So I've brought my hands together, pushing them forwards again. Little lean forward if you sat down or even stood up. And even a little flex and bend of the knees for those of you who can. And we're just rotating the hands and arms. If you think about it and pay attention, there's a lot of work going on in the shoulders, especially if you let the shoulders retract at the back where the shoulder blades maybe come together. Try and get that sensation. Okay, we're going to do one more of these and then I'm going to stand up for the next couple of movements. Okay, let's push my seat back. Okay, next movement. I'm taking a little pace forward. You can, if you're standing up, you may, if you wish, if you can, sat down, have a little shift on that right hand side. If it's better for people standing up to keep their stance nice and square, that's okay as well. I'm just taking a little pace forward, swinging my right hand forward, left hand back, and then just to and fro like so. If it's possible while you're standing to shift a little bit of weight from one side to the other. I know, again, these can be quite challenging, but if that has any scope for you, see if you can do so. Hands, arms as loose as we possibly can. Again, you might want to take a big breath in and then just let it out and see if you can let some tension release from the shoulders. Okay. Step back. I'm going to step forward a little bit with my left leg. There it is. Again, same rules apply. Left hand starts for swinging of the arms. And again, I've now got to be a bit more careful. My balance is not as secure on this side, so I'm being a little bit more cautious with my weight shift. And again, loose, relaxed hands and arms. breeze blowing through the willows. Really nice, evocative name. Okay. Next movement, searching for a needle at the bottom of the sea. Everything that we've just explored in terms of, can you get a leg forward, or is it better to stay square on? Apply here. I'm just going to bring my right leg forward. Again, if you sat down, you might try to have a shift on that right side a little bit forward. Hands as if we're holding a ball or a box, and they go on either side of the thigh, and then it's up to you. I would suggest just go down maybe to the knees and then pick that imaginary ball or box up, and then we go down on that same side some more time. Again, not going to be too prescriptive. You can go as many times as you like. There's no prizes for being a bendy boy or a bendy girl. It's better to be nice and secure in your balance than trying to push for anything further than you feel comfortable with. Again, that's not the aim of Tai Chi or Qi Gong. Okay, let's do one more on this side. Okay, I'm taking a pace back, and then I'm taking a little pace forward with my left foot. Again, you may just be square on. Again, if you sat down, see if you can emphasize the left side. Once again, ball, box, down on either side of the thigh, knee level maybe. Obviously, if you feel incredibly flexible and full of energy, and you think that you can go further without jeopardizing your balance, do so. I don't want to restrict you. But again, I always want you to feel as though at no point are you in jeopardy of losing your balance, which is a tall order sometimes. So again, I'm just moving easily, as easily as I can within this position. It's challenging. There's no doubts about it. And a little bit of challenge can be useful. Okay. So that was searching for a needle at the bottom of the sea. Let's get some rotation going. So after this, I'll sit back down again. This is my right hand. It's coming roughly just overhead, as you can see. Fingers are pointing to my left. Here's my left hand. Fingers are pointing to the left. And then I'm sweeping in a wide arc, turning to my right, turning the hands over, sweeping in a wide arc to the left, turning the hands over. There's the movement. Fisherman casts his net. Or we could think of ourselves cleaning the inside of a lighthouse at the very top. Whichever one feels right for you. Or you might have another idea in mind altogether. And again, just breathe with the movement. There's a lot of rotation going on through the spine, which can be very useful. The shoulders are having to do a lot of work. If you find that having a hand high, above head height, difficult, lower that hand. So you could bring that hand down and have it at shoulder level if that feels better for you. So again, our dictum is that we fit the movement to the person, not the person to the movement. It's up to the movement to be accommodating to you and not vice versa, which again is a little different from some movement kind of modalities or ideas. Here we reverse things a little bit. Okay, next movement. I'm going to sit back down again just to join people who are seated. Stay standing if you wish. And this next movement, vary points for way. This is this movement where we do big sweeps of the hands and arms in circles, and we're also pointing left and right. So let's bring our hands up. Again, overhead is ideal, but if not, shoulder height. I'm on my right side. I'm going to point with my index fingers to the left and look in that direction. I'm going to sweep the hands down, full circle, all the way back to the left. Then I'm going to point to the right, looking in that direction. Sweep the hands down and around and up to the right side once more, then point to the left. So you begin to get a sense of the sequence, the order in which the movement happens. Pointing, here I am pointing to the right, and then a sweep all the way around back to where we started on that right side, and then I look left and point to the left. Full circle to the left, and then we point to the right. So let's do one more full circle to the right and finish with our pointing to the left, like so. Okay. Next movement, a balance challenge. Mischievous boy kicking his heels. This is this movement. If I move my seat back, where we're kicking the heel forward, we're trying to straighten the knee. Last time we explored this movement, we explored the idea that we can keep a heel in contact. Again, so whether we're seated or standing, we can keep a heel in contact. Ideally, we've got our hands on our hips, but if you're standing and you're using support, use support, please do. So let's start off, shall we, with just touching the ground with our heel. This is my right foot. Oh, let's go back a bit. There you go. Right heel coming back, and then the left heel touching the ground. So this is for both standing and seated people. Heel touching the ground. Trying to straighten that knee and pull the toes back. So there's a bit of a stretch in the back of the leg. Even if you've got a prosthetic on or a prosthesis. Okay, real balance challenge. And it becomes even more of a challenge if you choose to have that heel elevated from the ground. Again, this is where I'm hoping that you are using support if you need to. And we're kicking the heel. For those of us who are seated, we've got the advantage, hopefully, of feeling more secure in our seat to do this movement. Kicking the heels or pushing the heel forward, pulling the toes back. If you're wearing a prosthesis like me on my right leg and you haven't got one of those fancy feet and the toes stick up awkwardly in any case, much to the amusement of other people as they trip over it. Let's do a couple more, one on each side. Excellent. Okay. Next movement. And this is called Stork, paying homage to the moon. So again, seated or standing. We're picking the hands up overhead. We can look up and bring the palms together. And then we begin to bring the hands down slowly. The elbows point out. And we have this little pause here where there's a little bit of a press through the palms. Again, I want you to work comfortably. And then just let everything go, nice and relaxed. And then pick the hands up again. Overhead, have a little look up. Bring those hands down. Little press. and then let the hands release. And again, overhead, down, let the elbows point out, palms press together if they will. Again, don't force things. Like so. So I'm going to do one of these standing up. If you've got a hip width stance and you feel confident, even just bringing the feet closer together like I have done there, and doing this movement challenges our balance. So if you want to challenge your balance a little more, again, not to the point where you're wobbling terribly, then bringing your feet together is a simple little progression that actually challenges your balance quite significantly. I can imagine that for some of you who are lower limb bilateral prosthetic wearers, that will be really quite challenging indeed, to bring feet together, to balance, and to be coordinating hand and arm movements. Okay, so that was Stork pays homage to the moon. New movement for us, I think. This is where we get to have a wider stance. If you sat down, again, you can just have this sense of being very stable. And this is called yellow dragon clawing. I'm actually going to come a bit closer so that, because it's not so necessary, I've got a wide stance. Our hands are in this kind of grasping shape. It's as if you're about to reach out and pick up a teacup or a mug, something like that. So that's the kind of shape you want. Not too firm, but a definite shape. We're going to pick the hands up. They're going to slide upwards, just tracing the torso at shoulder height. Again, notice that the elbows are pointing out. We roll the hands over into that shape as if we're grasping something, and then we're pushing forwards. And then we let the hands relax down. And once again, they retrace their steps up. We roll them over fluently and then push. If you've got the balance and the capability, again, if you're standing up with me, first of all, you might have a little bit of a lean forward. That might mean that you take the hips backwards a little bit as we push forward. If you've got the ability to flex and bend both knees, you can flex and bend both knees like I'm doing. And if you are sat down, you may have a lean forward from your hips and pelvis as you push forward, like so. Try to have a sense of fluency in this movement. Unlike dragons in kind of European, Western contexts, Chinese dragons are associated with water, not fire. So anything to do with mist, clouds, rain, springs, streams, rivers, even oceans are associated with watery dragons. Let's do this one more time. Yellow dragon. Excellent. If you're standing up with me, just bring the feet in, have a little movement break. If you sat down, shift some weight from side to side. And it's apposite that we're shifting weight because I'm going to ask you, if you're standing up with me, to have a wider stance. And if you sat down, again, we've practiced this in previous weeks, shift weight from one hip to the other. If you wish to have hands on hips, again, if you're standing, and we're trying to get weight to shift from one leg to the other. Again, difficult movement for us, especially with lower limb amputations. shifting weight from side to side. So start off, see if you can have a feel for what that is like to get weight over on one side. Obviously, we don't want to go too far, otherwise we do fall off balance. So it's finding that sweet spot of how far can you go where you feel stable, but you know that you've shifted weight. Again, a good analogy is that you are on a train or a bus and you are having to stand up and maintain your balance as that bus or train moves. Or again, we could think of being on a boat and it rocking from one side to the other, if that is a movement that chimes with you or a sense. So there's our weight shift. Okay, just have a little break from that. Again, as I really thoroughly recommend that side to side weight shift as almost as a bit of a daily practice. If I'm washing up in the kitchen, I'll shift my weight from side to side. If I'm got the kettle switched on and I'm getting a cup of tea or coffee organized, I'll shift weight from side to side. It's become a kind of movement pattern that I build into day-to-day life because it really helps help me with my stability in day-to-day life. So final movement, it's called shooting the arrow. Sometimes it's called opening the bow. And it utilizes this side to side movement, again, whether we're seated or standing. Okay, so let's start off nicely centered and balanced insofar as we can. We're going to pick the palms up. And again, we're going to go as far overhead as we can. I'm going to pick the right side. Okay, there's my hands in view. I'm looking to the right, but I'm shifting my weight to the left. So I'm shifting my weight to the left. I'm dropping my right hand and I'm turning this left palm to face outwards like so. Or I could press outwards. So there's the movement. And then we drop both hands, recenter ourselves, pick the hands up again, palms uppermost, overhead. And we shift our weight now to the right. And as I do so, I'm looking to the left, dropping the left hand, turning the right palm for it to face out. Drop the hands. Okay, I'm going to turn at an angle to the camera, see if that helps illustrate that a little better. So palms up. Okay, I'm shifting my weight towards the camera, to the left, looking to the right and turning my palm. There it is above outwards and then dropping my hands and down. Okay, I'll turn the opposite way for the other side. Palms up. Shifting my weight to the right, so my weight's coming this way, but I'm looking to my left. I've dropped the left hand and I've pushed the right palm out of it. Like so. If I come back square on, palms up. Looking to the right, shifting my weight to the left though, even if you're seated, and then coming back square on. It's a challenging movement. So that's why I'm going very slowly, giving you an opportunity to follow along. So my weight goes to the right as I look to the left, and I'm just holding it for a moment, just to make sure that I'm in control of all the elements that are going on. Let's go once more to that. Looking to the right side, but my weight is on the left. Quite a difficult thing to coordinate. I'll be interested to see what you have to say about this movement. And last one, looking left, but weight on my right leg. Excellent. Have a bit of a movement break. challenging, I think. Let me know in a moment or two what you thought of that, but that's quite challenging to shift weight in one direction, look in the other direction, and just having hands and arms overhead shifts our center of balance and our center of gravity higher, which again creates a real challenge, particularly for those of us wearing lower limb amputations. So I'm going to return to being seated. Going to finish with our closing movement. Certainly here in Yorkshire, we've got blue skies, so hopefully we might have a clear night. So it's an opportunity to think of our movement, gather celestial energy, where we pick the palms up, they're facing down. I'm looking up to that starlit sky above, and then sliding my hands down, and as I do so, I bring some stars with me. And I sweep and gather them up with my hands, hold on to them for a moment, and then we let them go. Off they fly. And as we let them go, we pick the hands up, out to the sides, and now I bring them around as if wrapping myself in a blanket, the blanket of the earth, all multicolored. Hold for a moment and then let that go as well. Let's go up to the sky again. Gather some stars, looking upward. Bringing some stars back down to earth. Sweeping the hands around. Holding those stars for a moment, then letting go. Hands out to the side. Wrap yourself in the blanket of the earth. Take a breath maybe and let go. And then just to finish off, we bring our thumbs together, linking hands at the thumbs, coming to rest on the lower abdomen, just below the navel. Maybe a big breath in, letting it go, resting the eyes perhaps. And now for 30 seconds or so, we just breathe nice and comfortably with a real sense of stillness and rest after that movement. And then we part the hands. That's our cue to say that for now, at least, we have finished. I'm going to finish the recording. So thank you for those of you who are going to watch later. I hope you have enjoyed these movements. Those of you who are with me now, may want to hang around and let me know how you found some of those new